Good evening and welcome out, everyone, to tonight's Tackle Trading Onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank with Tackle Trading. I'll be taking you through the website this evening, showing you around a little bit, letting you know where things are, when they are, hopefully so you can better use Tackle Trading. If you're just joining us, welcome to the team. It's great to have you. If you're just checking us out for the first time, I hope you find this helpful. And of course, welcome to you as well. We'll dive right into it. When I'm explaining tackle trading, I always kind of say, it's just a group of traders that have come together to help each other out. We, share ideas. We share things that are working, that aren't working, strategies. Trading can be a little bit of a lonely world sometimes because we're usually by ourselves in our home office or our office. And your next door neighbor usually doesn't want to talk trading with you. But here at Tackle Trading, you'll always find somebody who wants to talk trading with you. I can assure you that that is the case. I break tackle into three core areas when I'm explaining it. Things that you can do on your own. That's going to be things like courses, blogs, some of the tools that are available in our trade center. Then things that you can do with others. That's going to be our schedule, our daily and our weekly webinar schedule. And lastly, our weekend reports. So that'll kind of be the angle that we come at it here this evening as well, starting with the things that you can do on your own. And before we dive too far into it, I would like to point out just a couple of quick podcasts that are available here through Tackle Trading as well. Over at Trading Justice, our good friends at Trading Justice each week do the TJ podcast. It's a great listen. You can find it on all of the major podcast providers, or you can listen to it directly over at tradingjustice.com. Definitely worth adding to your weekly routine, in my personal opinion. There's also a really great monthly newsletter over at tradingjustice.com as well, which is very much worth reading. This link I am in the Trade Center, and this link will take you directly to Trading Justice, but that is just tradingjustice.com. We also have a daily podcast that we call The Huddle. At the end of the day, just a quick recap of the top 5 stories of the trading day, just quick, easy, and to the point, so you don't have to feel like you're kind of coming in cold to the market if you're doing your routine in the evening. So that is The Huddle. You can find a direct link to The Huddle just up at the top of any page here at Tackle Trading. The Huddle is a daily, or at least market daily, podcast at the end of the day, and each week the Trading Justice podcast will come out. Definitely can be good additions to your routine. Let's kind of start with talk a little bit about our courses. As we talk about things that you can do on your own. Our 7-step guide to trading is kind of an introduction, in some ways, kind of an introduction to the tackle trading way. As you can imagine, there's lots of us here at Tackle Trading, and no two traders are really the same. But I think at a foundational level, all of us tackle traders do kind of approach the market from a philosophical point of view. We do believe in starting at the top of the market and working down, at top-down analysis, matching our strategy to the situation, how we find and watch list our trading candidates. Of course, we're big on rules and systems here at Tackle Trading. So planning, placing, managing, and journaling the trade. If you're a new trader, you'll probably find this really helpful to get you a routine going. One of the challenges that new traders tend to have is they work hard, but they don't get a lot done because they don't have really good routines down yet, and understandably so. Should really help if you're a newer trader. If you're a more veteran trader, you probably have a daily routine down that you feel pretty comfortable with, and that's definitely a good thing. But maybe you can get a couple of ideas that can make it a little bit smoother here in the 7-step guide to trading. I encourage every trader I meet, whether they're brand new or grizzled vets or anything in between, to take a little bit of time. I think there's something that everyone can learn in that 7-step guide to trading course. As traders, we're pretty big fans of the charts, right? And that's going to be true whether you're a day trader, a swing trader, a cash flow trader, a crypto trader, a forex trader, whatever kind of trader you might call yourself. You will be using the charts. Technical analysis is an important skill set, of course, for us traders. Our technical analysis 101 course is just going to be charts, and more charts, so you can get a better understanding of identifying those patterns, identifying those trends, identifying support and resistance. Every trader can get better at technical analysis. I've yet to meet the trader that's always right on their charting. We all try, right? And so we can all get a little bit better no matter where you are in the process. I would encourage you to take some time to go through the technical analysis course. our Options 101 course is really going to focus on what's going on when you buy or sell that option, right? There's a few different moving parts going on when we're trading options, and we need to understand why that contract is doing the things that it's doing, right? What's volatility doing it, what's time decay doing to it, et cetera. The more we understand the contract, I think the easier it's going to be for us to wrap our head around whatever strategy is that we're focusing on. So the Options 101 course is really going to focus on that side of the options world. I'll show you where we can look at the strategies here in a few. But if you're new or even intermediate to options, the Options 101 course is probably something to highlight. It is really important, and I do honestly believe that if you really understand those contracts, those strategies become a heck of a lot easier to wrap your head around. If you've ever been interested in learning about the futures or the Forex market, but not quite known where to start, we have introductions to those markets as well to give you a better understanding of what's going on over there, how that leverage works, and all of that fun stuff. Not a lot of traders, well, at least not every trader trades in those markets, and that's fine. But I never want a trader to feel like they can't trade in those markets. If you don't like to trade Forex, that's your business, right? That's what's awesome about trading. We can trade the things that we want to trade and leave the rest alone. But I want it to come from a place of, well, I looked into this market, I understand this market. It's just not for me, or maybe it is, right? And so if you've ever been interested in learning a little bit more about either of those markets, it can be a great place to start. Regardless of what you're trading, where you're trading, it is important to have clearly designed systems and rules in place to govern our actions. As traders, we can't trade on whimsies and emotions, right? We have to, have a clear, concise trading plan. And I think at face value, every trader would agree with that. I've never heard anyone say trading rules are a bad idea, but it's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. The system development course is really designed to get you thinking about your trading from a system perspective. I honestly believe it's kind of like a little light switch that's in the back of most of our heads that once we flip it on, it just kind of stays on, whether we want it to or not. We want it to, I think, but I don't even think we could turn it off if we tried. I think we just need to kind of get a little bit of guidance on that. This is a fantastic course. I've heard tremendous amounts of feedback, and understandably so, in that system development course. No matter what you're trading and no matter what your trading level and experience level is, I would definitely make some time to go through the system development course. You'll notice we have a handful of premium systems here as well. What these are is they're one-time purchases. The system is yours for life. Once a month, we get together with members of that team in a mastermind group. I'm going to just quickly let you know what they are. If you want a little bit more information, you can head over to the store or send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, and we'd be more than happy to get you some more information on them. The Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system. Each year, we put together a group of stocks with the mind of selling covered calls on for cash flow. Our STEP system is our swing trading system, standing for stop loss, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condors is another cash flow system, this time through selling credit spreads on the Russell 2000. And of course, the bear market survival guide is protecting our long-term portfolio from bearish turns in the market and then dealing with those conditions when and if they occur. So again, if you want any more information on any of these, the store tab is a great place to start, but never hesitate to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com, and we'd be happy to get you some more information on any of those different systems. Not everything is going to be a course or a webinar. We do weekly blog content. It's a great way to share ideas and bounce things around with the team. These are going to be relatively short reads, probably 5 minutes, give or take, depending on maybe how fast you read, whether it's more charting and tales of technician, hearing from our awesome female trading community and women in trading, more on options and the option theory, working with Coach Greg and taking some of these concepts from the ground up for our newer traders over in the rookie corner. Keep a look at. They're a really good addition to your routine throughout the week. Just another way to kind of reach out, share ideas, bounce things around with the team. Over in the Trade Center, if you are going to find a few things, you're going to find a link to the trading journals. Journaling our trades is really important. We're going to kind of probably circle back to that just a little bit here in a moment, but you'll find the link to the trade journals here. You'll find a link to our events calendar, which we'll definitely circle back to as we kind of talk about the schedule, our glossary, as well as the Tackle Trading Playbook. The tackle trading playbook is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our strategies into three core areas based on the option Greeks: delta, theta, and vega. Delta is directional, right? So buying stock, buying call or put options, doing debit spreads, basically D for direction. I think this stock is going to go from 72 to $80. I'd like to take advantage of it. How can I craft a trade that fits into the risk profile that I'm looking for, right? So that's going to be our delta playbook. We're going to have the theta playbook. This is our cash flow. This is where we're selling those options and bringing in that premium and taking advantage of the passage of time. That's going to be things like covered calls, naked puts, credit spreads, iron condors, right? Where we're selling and bringing in that premium. And then lastly, we have the Vega or the volatility playbook. These are going to be bidirectional, where we're not saying when we're playing the expected volatility of the stock. So, I always think about earnings when I think about Vega or volatility strategies, where company XYZ has an earnings report coming up. Historically, they tend to move a lot on earnings. There's no way that I can know if they're going to move up or down because I'm not privy to that information, but maybe I want to bet on that history repeating itself and create a trade that, hey, it profits as long as it moves a lot either way, right? Or maybe I'm on the other side of that. Maybe the market thinks it's going to move a lot, but I think that that's crazy as I do my evaluation. So these are going to be based on the volatility of the stock itself. In all of these, you will find a video going over, what the strategy is, what our rules for the strategies are, why we would choose this strategy. We will be using the Thinkorswim platform and putting in doing kind of an example as well. You'll find a PDF download to have easy access to those rules for those strategies. You'll also notice that all of the strategies have something between a 0 and a plus or a -3. And that's just kind of where we see it on the spectrum. As far as 0 is, neutral, flat neutral. I expect the stock to do nothing, right? 1 or -1 would be, slightly bullish or slightly bearish. 2 would be, maybe just normal or moderately bullish or bearish. And then 3 or -3 would be very bullish or bearish. We always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? So if I think the stock's going to slowly go up over time, buying a call option might not be the best strategy because that's going to do better the faster that thing moves, right? Maybe a bull call spread would be more sensible as an example. So that's going to be the playbook. It'll keep you pretty busy. You'll find that again here in the Trade Center. If you just click into the Trade Center, this will take you to a what's up page at Tackle Trading. What's our next show, our most recent posts, our latest report, our most recent tweet. There is a little watch list that you can build for yourself in here as well. If you would like to do so, you just, add your symbol here and hit the little plus button, and that'll add it to your watch list. Or if I decide I don't want them anymore, I'll just select them and hit this little minus button, and that'll get rid of them. So you can have easy access to your watch list without having to log into your trading account, into your actual brokerage account. There's going to be either a replay or a live showing of one of our YouTube shows, a little mini calendar for the next couple of days, what the next little while look like at Tackle Trading. If you're in the middle of any courses, it'll let you know right where you left off, so you can pick right back up instead of having to, figure out where it was you left last night before bed. So just kind of a what's up at Tackle Trading page. There's also going to be a variety of different trading tools in here. You'll find the market skyline. In the market skyline, we're going to have the charts for all of the big stuff, right? So the main indexes, the futures on the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, Bitcoin, the commodities, gold, silver, crude, copper, etc., and the sector spider ETFs, just kind of a one-stop shop so I can easily go through the charts as I'm working that top-down approach to the market. Whether you're doing this, here in the Trade Center or on your, on your own trading software, I think you'll find it's very helpful if you're not already doing it to incorporate this into your routine. Going with the flow is definitely makes trading a little bit easier. There's also a link here that will bring you to a Finviz Heat Map for the S&P 500, just so we can get that quick visual, what areas were up today, what areas were down. Obviously, we can't make trades off of this, or at least I can't imagine trying to, but I can kind of see what areas. Oh wow, there's a lot of energy stocks were in the green here today. Definitely a strong day for energy. Maybe it's worth taking a little bit of time this evening to go check the energy stocks in my watch list to see if there's something shaping up for a potential opportunity. So that's going to be the heat maps button there. You'll find a news aggregator that's just going to go through some of the bigger financial websites. As you can kind of see here, the Wall Street Journal, the Times, CNBC, Market Watch, and just kind of gather the headlines so we can just kind of scroll through them instead of having to bounce around through a bunch of different websites. I can just easily kind of roll through, see if anything catches my eye. Oh, Oracle's earnings announcement. That's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll want to read that, right? Or maybe I don't care about the Herbalife stock drops or whatever it might be. So just, really designed to save some clicks and some bouncing around time for you. An economic calendar, so you can kind of see what does the economic schedule look like for the trading day or for the trading week. Another link to our market reports, which you'll also find up here. We'll talk about here shortly. A link to the compounding gains calculator, a chart if you ever need one, our trading glossary. Again, you can find that in the drop down of the Trade Center as well. Our search function, which you can also find in this little magnifying glass. And the search function is pretty smart here at Tackle Trading. So if you're ever looking for something, that can be a great place to start. Like I said earlier, never hesitate to reach out to us. We're happy to help. But a lot of times, just a quick search could find exactly what it is you're looking for. There's also a link to the trade journals in here. If you come into the trade journals here, it'll take you to the video series of how to use those journals. They are going to be in spreadsheet format, and some people struggle a little bit with that. I know I did. I'm not a natural spreadsheet user, and so it's really helpful to have a little bit of assistance as I was trying to go from my old, really old stodgy way of Word document journaling to spreadsheet journaling, which was a good choice on my part, I do got to say. But it was still a little uncomfortable because it was new and I'm not particularly great at spreadsheets. So the video tutorial can be really helpful for you as well. So that will be here in the trade journals again. The drop down in the Trade Center will have the links for the trade journals as well. So that's going to be the Trade Center. Our clubhouse is kind of like our own personal social media, for lack of a better way to describe it. Just a place where members of Team Tackle can ask questions, bounce ideas, let folks know what's going on. It's just trading. It's just us, but you never hesitate to get in there if you need some help or if you want to bounce some ideas around with some other traders. There's definitely traders here that are happy to do that with you. So that's going to be our clubhouse. I certainly invite you to join us over there. The Tackle Today is our daily email. We do send that out each market morning. If you would like to sign up for it, if you just go into the Tackle Today, the sign up is right here, very quick and easy to do. You can also read it directly on this page. It will get to your inbox faster, but if for whatever reason you prefer just to read it here in the Tackle Today at Tackle Trading, that can be effective as well. So those are some of the things that you can kind of do on your own at your leisure when you're ready to do so. Maybe you're brand new trader. You might be starting a little different place than if you've been trading for years, but just starting to get an interest in trading the futures market. I don't know. So don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. Now let's talk a little bit about the things that you can do with others, aka the schedule. We're going to be with the team each and every trading day in a variety of ways, starting with our Traders Lounge that we do every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We get together here at Tackle Trading in our Traders Lounge, basically where we can answer our team's questions, whatever those questions might be. So maybe you've got a trade set up that you wanted to get some feedback on. Maybe you're struggling with a particular strategy. It would be helpful to kind of go through that from beginning to end. Hey, how would I do a bull call spread, right? Can kind of build an example. Maybe you've got a trade going on and you want to bounce management ideas around with it. Maybe you're struggling with your daily routine, or maybe you have a question on the Thinkorswim platform, which we'll be using in there. Who knows what your questions are going to be, but the one thing I know for sure is we all have them. And we do need a place where we can, address those questions. So the Traders Lounge really is built for our team. There are no questions too basic, no questions too advanced that you can bring to our attention in there. Everybody's questions are important. That's every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. That'll go for an hour. As a general rule, we're not going to record the Traders Lounge because, quite bluntly, no one's going to go back and watch one from, 15 months ago, right? But we will record snippets and get them posted in here. And if you are, if your schedule is such that maybe you're at work, every, Monday through Friday or each market day, 11 Eastern, but you have a question, you need some help, let us know, send us an email. We're always happy to do our best to accommodate you. We can talk about your subject. We can get it posted in here so you can catch it at a more convenient time. So don't hesitate if your schedule doesn't allow you to join us. We can definitely help you out. So that's the Traders Lounge every market day, pretty much Monday through Friday, minus a handful of holidays, right? But more accurately, every market morning. Then shortly after the lounge, we head over to our YouTube channel for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report at 12:30 Eastern, a live look in at the market as we go through that daily routine. We work through that top-down analysis, talk about what's going on in the market today, how is it impacting our charts, how are the different segments of the market, be it the S&P 500, gold, crude, Bitcoin, sectors, stocks in the news, right? To really go through that daily routine. Everybody needs to do it. We just like to do it with our team over on YouTube. It's always a lot of fun to take part of, and I certainly invite you to join us each market day over on YouTube, 12:30 Eastern for the halftime report. So every single market day, we will be doing our lounge here at 11, and then we'll be heading back over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 for the halftime report. So we will be working the markets with our team each and every day. And then we have our evening shows. On Tuesday nights, we do our coaches show. I would personally consider this our flagship show. We're a couple days into the trading day, right? It's Tuesday night, 8:30 Eastern, live here at Tackle Trading. We can talk a little bit about, what's going on in the market this week, any areas, but, it's standing out, whether it's for, a particular sector, a particular industry, right? To highlight coming into the second part of the trading week. But what I really love, I love talking about that stuff, but what I really love about the Coaches Show is it lets us take a topic that's important to the market right now and have a real in-depth conversation on that subject. It can be a pattern-based, trading breakout, trading retracements, trading momentum. It can be strategy-based, right? Buying calls versus buying bull calls. Adding insurance. It can be routine-based, watch list management, daily routine, portfolio design. There's a lot of subjects that we can talk about in trading. And what I love about the Coaches Show is we can take one of those subjects that's applicable to the market, today's market, and have a real in-depth conversation on it. That's every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. That show is recorded and archived. So if you can't make it live, we love to have you live with us, of course, but we also understand schedules are schedules. You can watch at a more convenient time. You can go watch previous episodes, whether it was last week's, last month's, or last year's in there as well. So that's every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern for the Coaches Show. On Thursday nights, also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do our Cash Flow Club. This one's going to be a little more narrowly focused on those cash flow option strategies, building and managing those covered calls, those naked puts, those condors, those credit spreads, right? We are going to talk about those each and every night or Thursday night, I should say, over in the Cash Flow Club. Much like the Coaches Show, it will be recorded and archived, so you can fit it into your routine or go back and watch previous episodes on subjects that you find interesting. So that's going to be our Thursday night. On Monday nights, I do this onboarding webinar here on our YouTube channel, just taking anybody new to tackle trading through the website, anybody who may be checking us out for the first time, wondering what we're about, what we have to offer. No two are tremendously different from each other, but if you ever think it would be helpful, you're certainly more than welcome to join me on Monday nights in this onboarding webinar. On Wednesdays, we kind of do a twofer. So I'm going to hop over into our events calendar in the Trade Center as we talk about this. At 7 Eastern, right here on our YouTube channel on Wednesdays, we do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches will bring some trade ideas to bounce around with one another, with Coach Mark, who moderates or hosts the show, as well as members of our team in the chat. It's just a place, where Wednesday night, some of our trade setups from earlier in the week have already triggered. Some of them, are running. Some of them hit our stop losses. Some of the patterns never came to fruition. Sometimes we want to beef up our watch list a little bit as we go into the second half of the week. It's always fun to be a part of Trade Masters. I always enjoy when I get to be there, and I always enjoy getting to listen to the other coaches in there as well. So that's live on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern on Wednesday nights. Then shortly after that, that'll go for an hour. We'll head back over here to tackle trading into our nightly lounge that we do on Wednesday nights at 8:30 Eastern. We can answer in more depth any questions that our team might have on any of the ideas that we brought for discussion in the Trade Masters webinar. We can talk about, any other questions that you may be having. Maybe you just can never join the morning trading lounge, but you are free on Wednesday nights. And so, we can really go over whatever we need to with the team in there, be it some of the ideas that we talked about in our Trade Masters webinar, or any other questions that you may be having. So that's Wednesday night, 7 Eastern for the Trade Masters webinar, 8:30 Eastern back here on Tackle Trading for that nightly lounge. Coach Mark does a weekend prep course or class on Sunday nights. We're a few hours, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're a few hours into the Futures Open. And, based off of that open, is anything standing out? Bouncing ideas around with the team. Once again, answering questions the team might be having. So that's Sunday nights for Coach Mark's weekend prep class. Certainly a lot of fun to be a part of that. We also have a tremendous, I brought it up a little earlier, an awesome team of female traders with us at Tackle Trading. And they get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. I, of course, don't get to go, right? But I do know the team, and I know them. I know they're awesome people. I know they're great traders. I have no doubt that there's a lot of good work getting done in that mastermind group. I have no doubt that they're having a heck of a lot of fun as they're doing it. So if you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would definitely encourage you to hook up with the awesome gals of Tackle Trading in that Women in Trading Mastermind group about once a month. Got one coming up here on the 17th. As you can see, we'll make sure that we do let the team know when that is coming around. But I would definitely, if you're a woman in trading, I would definitely take part of that. I have no doubt. I'll never know for sure. It'll always kind of perplex me, but I also know how much fun our team is. And I know that the type of things they're talking about in there in regards to trading, at least. So should be a really good experience. And sorry, fellas, you'll have to find something else to do that day. Kind of an oversimplified way to think about it is the Traders Lounge in the morning is really designed for your questions, right? You'll be the guide, right? As far as what we'll discuss each day. The halftime report is really for that daily routine where we can work through that top-down analysis. And then the evening shows are where we can really kind of, nerd out a little bit and, put that teaching hat on, if you will. And kind of go a little bit deeper as we show our team how to do these different things. That is certainly an overly simplified way to look at it, but maybe it can help kind of keep them organized a little bit as you're getting used to us here at Tackle Trading. So that's going to be the schedule. We recently launched our trading labs. This is a premium subscription product. We have 3 different trading labs with Coach Tyler, Coach Emily, and Coach Mark. They are subscription-based. You can find more information about them over in the store, but once a week, they'll get together in a mastermind group. They have a private Discord channel that they keep in touch with one another throughout the course of the week as well. I've heard great feedback on all of the different trading labs. If you'd like a little more information on them, you can head over into the store tab and find that as well. So that's going to be the schedule, if you will. And then, of course, that third component of Tackle Trading is going to be our weekend report, our newsletter, stock options, commodity, and Forex reports. On Fridays, we're getting together as a team of coaches here at Tackle Trading, talking markets, talking sectors, talking currencies, talking commodities, talking setups. As we're preparing for the upcoming week in the market, we call that our scouting report meeting. Out of that scouting report meeting will come the newsletter, the stock options, commodity, and Forex reports. We'll get these delivered to the team by Saturday afternoon, so they have plenty of time to go through any or all of them before the market opens back up. The Tackle newsletter is where I always encourage every trader to start, because this is where we are, taking that top-down approach. Right. Again, that's the first step in the 7-step guide to trading. So it is a fundamental belief that we have here at Tackle Trading. In the newsletter, we can kind of do a quick wrap up of the week that was in the market. What did it do? What were the storylines that were moving it? All of that fun stuff. We can talk a little bit about the sectors. We'll highlight the economic calendar. What's on the block for on the on the agenda of this week from an economic perspective. Of course, we'll have a video, going over this stuff in depth with you, where the broad market is and kind of what we're seeing, as far as, support, resistance, trend, all of that fun stuff, whether it's the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the major indexes. You will find the ETFs that track those indexes in here if you need them. DIA tracks the Dow Jones, QQQ tracks the NASDAQ, IWM tracks the RUT, and SPY tracks the S&P 500. We'll take a look at the new highs versus the new lows. We're going to look at over 8,000 stocks and see, hey, where, is there strength or is there weakness in the market based on how many stocks are putting in, new highs versus new lows, right? It's a great way to look at the internals of the market to see, it's because the way that some of the indexes are weighted, like say the S&P 500, and how huge some of these companies are, Apple and Amazon and Google and Facebook. I mean, these companies are enormous. Indexes like the S&P 500 are weighted by market cap, and so sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what it is, right? But by looking at the internals, maybe we can get a little better idea of the overall strength or weakness, or at least relative strength or weakness of the market itself. You'll find the seasonality chart. What does the market historically do this time of year? From a historical perspective, the market's a little back and forth in September as we get into a strong fourth quarter. Historically, that's what happened. That's almost exactly what happened last year, but that doesn't mean it's what'll, happen this year, right? I wish it was that simple. But at the same time, as long as we don't overvalue that information, it can be very helpful to know how the market historically performs, each month or quarter or what have you. Same with the sectors. What sectors tend to, relatively speaking, be the strongest, or relatively speaking, being the weakest each month? Each week, we're going to rank the sectors based off of what we're seeing on the stocks within those sectors, right? We break our sectors into three core areas. We're going to have the growth areas, and that's going to be technology, discretionary, and communications. Think our tech stocks, our semiconductor stocks, our social media stocks, our restaurants, right? Our Amazons and our Home Depots and things like that. So we're going to have the discretionary. That's going to be represented in this little blue color. We're going to have the cyclical areas of the market. That's financials, industrials, basic materials, and energy. And then we're going to have the defensive areas of the market: healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities. That's on that little plum color is what you'll see there for them. So they're going to be kind of put into one of those three camps. Each week, we're going to rank the sectors based off of the stocks that make up those sector ETFs. What these are, if you're not familiar, there's the sector spiders: XLK, XLY, XLF, right? And what they do is they go into the S&P 500 and they pull out just the stocks in that area. So just for example, XLE is the energy sector ETF. It goes into the S&P 500, pulls out just the energy stocks, weighted accordingly because it is based off of the S&P, and puts them into a portfolio so we can get a little more of an isolated look at, say, energy versus, say, utilities versus, say, technology, right? And so we're going to be ranking based on the companies that make up those ETFs each and every week, and be moving, our rankings accordingly based off of what we're seeing on the companies within that. Much like the playbook, we had kind of that 0 to 3 or -3. Think about it a little bit different though when it comes to the sectors. It's going to be super rare, and you never say never, but I almost want to say never, that you're going to see us put an entire sector into such an aggressive rating at plus or -3. I mean, that would mean every single one of those charts had to look absolutely fantastic or absolutely horrible, right, to even consider it. And there's almost always an outlier. With an individual stock, it's not uncommon at all to have an aggressive read of the situation. But in a sector or the market as a whole, it is very difficult. For me personally, I've never done it, and I doubt I ever will. It's probably pretty unlikely that we as a team at Tackle Trading will ever be that aggressive in a particular sector. But we are going to have between the 40 and the 20 at the slightly bullish or slightly bearish territory. The 2 or -2s, you can kind of see it's on a football field, going to be between the 20 and the goal line. We just want to, let the team know how we're seeing these different sectors each week, more strength, more weakness, continuation, whatever the case might be. And we can explain this, of course, in the video itself. As you follow along, you'll kind of see it. I think it'll be kind of second nature. First time you look at it, just like the first time you look at anything, it can be a little, maybe a little bit confusing. But we'll be following the sectors each and every week. We'll be ranking them each and every week because we do want to, again, we want to go with the flow. We want to trade, into strength from a bullish point of view, into weakness from a bearish point of view. If something's neutral, we either want to trade it with neutral strategies or leave it alone if we're more directionally based traders. So we will be ranking them each and every week. And again, if you need those sector ETFs that these are, built off of, you can find them right here. You can also, if you would like, visit the actual ETF provider, which their website is just www.sectorspdr.com. That's just the website for the actual ETF provider for the sector spider ETFs. They are going to be weighted by market cap, so there's going to be a little bit of a write-up kind of explaining that to you, but you could get a lot more information directly from the source, if you will, exactly how they are built up. You're going to get a friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? Or at least to your read of the situation. We sometimes can forget that because we, sometimes as traders, we get our favorite things. I love to buy call options. And so no matter what, we just want to buy a call, but not everything's going to be a great opportunity to buy a call. There might be great opportunities to trade it, but maybe just not through that particular strategy for whatever reason. You'll also find a pre-built scanner in here. So if a particular area has caught your attention, say you liked what you saw in the movement energy today and want to do a quick view of some energy stocks, this will bring you to a pre-built Finviz scan. These are just what I call trader-friendly stocks. So in here, we're just going to hit this charts button here. And this is going to bring me up a list of stocks that have, a lot of liquidity. So it's very easy to trade shares, at least in my personal opinion. They are optionable. As a general rule, I would say they're fairly easy to trade with options, but you always want to double check. There are going to be, exceptions for sure where the option liquidity for whatever reason isn't great. And if you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, you don't need me to tell you that it's not any fun. So, if it's not there, we can trade the shares. These are going to be really easy to trade with shares. They're going to have options. There's a fairly good chance I'll be able to create an option trade if that's the route I want to go. But one way or another, if I find something in here I like tonight, I'm going to be able to trade it, whether it's through options or through the equity itself. As you can see, it's just going to give me some charts that I can easily browse through. I couldn't, build a trade off of any of these things by any means, but I can see if anything, is interesting enough to me to maybe want to go do a little bit of actual technical analysis on it. Based off of what I like. I like this little chart here on SM. Again, I might not like it as much when I go take a closer look at it, but I kind of like we had this deeper pullback. We bounced off of the 200-day moving average, we consolidated, and they're breaking to the upside in there. If I want to take a closer look at this guy, I can just click on it. It'll bring me, the bigger chart. Again, I wouldn't try to make a trade off of this, but I can kind of see, yeah, that, does look interesting enough to pursue, or maybe it doesn't. Just make sure you go back to screener. That'll just make sure you get back to the screener page instead of just the basic screener page. So we'll have that set up for all of the different, sectors. Obviously, that's going to be every stock in those areas. It can be a great way to quickly look at a stock at stocks in areas that have caught your attention for whatever reason. Without having to go too terribly crazy. So that's going to be the newsletter. It's always where I want to start. It's just, that top-down analysis is important. Then our Forex report, going to talk about the currencies, right? What's going on in the world of currency on those major pairs, news events, all of that fun stuff. Commodities, going to be talking about, the fundamentals, technicals, and the storylines that are moving the world of commodities, be it gold, silver, crude, whatever it might be. The stock and options report are going to be built fairly similar to one another in regards to how they're built. These are going to be primarily swing trading based candidates. We'll come into the options report here. Of course, in the options report, we're going to be talking more about the options and strategy selection and stuff like that. In the stock report, we're going to be talking more about the mechanics, stop loss placement, target setting, daily routine, watch list management, etc. And so there will be a difference in kind of the way they're presented. But as far as the way they're built, a good technical setup is a good technical setup, and nobody cares but me how I'm choosing to trade it, right? And so they, technically the way they're going to be built is going to be very, very similar to one another from that regard. I hope that makes some sense. Each week, as we're going through the markets, we're putting together a watch list for the upcoming week of technically sound trading patterns to watch going into the upcoming week. You can love them all, you can hate them all, you can pick your favorites. I imagine that's probably the most likely thing that you'll do is find the setups that you like the most, that fit into you, into your style of trading or sectors that you're interested in. But we do want to make sure that our team has some vetted trading, technically solid tech candidates to trade each and every week, whether trade in stock or options, that we can share with them. There is a little bit of bleed over in the sense that if I wanted to say trade this pullback on XLC, if I get the signal candle I'm looking for, but let's say I just want to trade it with shares, that's not a problem. I can do that. Not a big deal. You can trade the things in the option report with shares of the stock, not a problem at all. Conversely, over in the stock report, maybe the reason it's in the stock report instead of the option report is just the option liquidity isn't there. The stock's got plenty of liquidity, but for whatever reason, the options don't. That doesn't necessarily mean that's the only reason it might find its way into the stock report, but that definitely is one reason why it might be in the stock report instead of the option report. So it doesn't hurt to check. You can always check the liquidity. If there's a candidate in the stock report that you like, but you would prefer to trade options on it, go check the liquidity. What's the worst can happen? They're not there and you can't do it, right? So, but if it's comfortable, if liquidity's there and you'd be comfortable with it, then no big deal. So do kind of keep that in mind. Just the easy way to think about it is you can always trade shares of things. If you want to go that route in the option report, you can sometimes, but always got to double check the option liquidity if you want to play an option strategy on something in the stock report. Because again, you don't want to get stuck in an illiquid option. And if you don't know how to do that, that is something you'll learn over in that Options 101 course. So we want to make sure we have some trade ideas to share with the team each and every week. We'll have bullish trade setups. We'll have bearish trade setups. We do use these trading view charts. You've seen them in several of the different places, the Trade Center, the newsletter here in the options report that we build into Tackle Trading. Just a couple of quick pointers on these guys. If I want to get a little more chart, I can just smack this widget button right up here and that'll hide the watch list. So I have a little more chart to work with. If I want my watch list back, I just need to hit it again. So I have a little bit more chart that I can work with. If I want to add an indicator, I can easily do that. Say I want to add the average true range, which is usually what I want to do. I'll add that. If I don't need that ATR to look that big, because mostly I'm just looking for the number, so I can just hover my mouse on this barrier between the volume and the indicator, hold down my left click, and I can scrunch it. If you needed to make it bigger, you can do the same thing as well, right? So we can do that. You can change, if you prefer bar charts. I know that's fairly rare nowadays, but there's still folks out there who trade bar charts. So if you prefer it, you can easily change that there. These are going to be based off of technical daily technical setups, right? Unless we kind of discuss otherwise in the video. So it's going to be defaulted to the daily chart, but we can change our time frames, right? If I want to take a bird's eye view and go look at the hourly chart, see how close maybe this pullback is to maybe turning that intraday chart around. Maybe I want to look at the longer term chart to see the overall strength, make sure there's not any resistance that I might be missing or anything like that. So you can easily change your time settings on this little drop down here. Your trend line tool is going to be right here. This is where you can either, do the, draw the horizontal support or resistance, or you can draw the actual trend line support or resistance. This one, I think is applicable. You have to forgive my line drawing. I don't draw very straight lines, even after all this time. But I think both are applicable in this particular case. We're kind of testing that old resistance as new support. We've got a very clear intraday downward trend. Hopefully something's got to give, right? Hopefully we can take that intraday trend and get back into the longer term trend here. At least if we're trading this bullish, that's kind of what we'd be thinking. So you can draw your trend lines in there. If you want to get rid of them, just left click it and hit that trash bin button and that'll get rid of it for you. Your right here, this is one that's really handy. This is where we can, prep our trades, whether it's long or short. So say, and I'm not going to get super specific here, but let's say I want to, try to trade into this pullback, but I want to make sure these guys break that trend line. And my entry is going to be right up here at 85.31. That's where I've decided I want to get into these guys. I can scrunch my chart by holding the left mouse button down and scrunch back and forth, so I get a little bit more room. I can do the same thing with the zoom up or zoom down on my mouse wheel. I can hold the left mouse button down and wiggle back and forth and up and down like this, so I can get enough room to work with, so I can get the chart where I want it to be. right? So say I've got a target price of $88 in mind. I can kind of see what this trade would look like. I'd like to put my stop loss a little bit below this low. That's going to give you just about a 2-to-1 risk to reward trade. Is that something I'd be comfortable with? It's really helpful in helping visualize the trade, and obviously saves time in doing the actual math to see what the risk to reward would look like. I find this to be a particularly helpful tool. It saved me a lot of time over the years. I always like to share this one with other folks because it saved me an absolute ton of time over the years. I have no doubt about that. So just a few of the things that you can do here in those trading labs or in these trading view charts. Just a quick note. It's fine if you want to add a bunch of indicators. That's your business, but it's not going to save. So when I leave this page and come back, my indicator is going to be gone. My risk reward is going to be gone. My trend line here is going to be gone. Not a big deal. I'm probably doing most of this over on my trading platform, right? But just know that if before you add a zillion things and then leave and come back and wonder where they are, do know that it is not going to save. So typically I just add the ATR and then see what I like, and then I'll head over there. You might not use these a lot, but you probably will use them at least the first time you work through the stock or the options or whatever report it might be. Again, in the video, we can talk you through, kind of what we're seeing technically, share ideas about that. Again, the option report, we talked about strategy selection and stuff like that. Always we'll use it as an opportunity to teach, not just highlight some technical setups, but we do want to make sure that the team has quality vetted technical setups each and every week. You don't have to trade anything that you're not comfortable with, and don't, right? Just because it's, a setup that I like doesn't mean you have to agree with me by any means, but we always will make sure you have some quality trade candidates each week. So no matter what you're trading, you have some options in your watch list. Again, you can expect all of these to get delivered to you by Saturday afternoon. So you do have plenty of time to go through them before the market gets back up and running. So that's going to be the weekend reports. I would always suggest starting, it's not usually where we want to start. And I'll admit, I'm the same way. I want to go look at the setups. I'm a technical trader. I'm a directional trader. That's who I am as a trader. So of course I want to go look at the different chart patterns, but I do need to have that overall market view before I do that. It'll make my life a heck of a lot easier. So I would encourage you to, if you're like me but I really like the option report best or whatever, fight the urge, go through the newsletter first. The option report's not going anywhere. But you can go through them in any order that you want, of course. But I would suggest starting with the newsletter. I think that's just the most sensible approach. Like I said a couple of times, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate. Send us an email, team@tackletrading.com. We're here to help. And so if you can't find something, if you have tech issues, if something's going wrong, something's going right, whatever it is, if you need us, let us know. We're happy to help. That's what we're here for. We are active on the different social media platforms here on our YouTube channel. We do a lot of live streams, our onboarding webinar, our Wednesday night Trade Masters webinar, our daily halftime report. But we have a lot of other content over on our YouTube channel as well, and are always looking to add more. A lot of how-tos, walkthroughs, think or swim tutorials. So if you are just checking us out on YouTube for the first time, appreciate it. If you do want to subscribe and hit that notification, that will make sure that you never miss anything that we're throwing out there. I got a presence over on LinkedIn and Instagram. We've got our own Facebook, where we do have there is a Facebook group, a tackle trading Facebook group. I'm not a Facebook user, but I know a lot of people do use Facebook. Just another way that they can stay connected and bounce ideas around with one another. I am more of a Twitter guy myself. So I certainly invite you to join us at any of these platforms, but selfishly, I'll invite you to join me over at Twitter. It's a great place where we can share what's going on at Tackle Trading, share interesting charts that we might be running into, upcoming earnings, big movers, stuff like that. It's another fun way to be able to stay connected with the team throughout the trading week. It's a great way to stay in touch with me, because that's probably where I am the most active is over on Twitter. So whether you're a Twitter user, a Facebook user, a YouTuber, whatever it might be, if you're using these platforms, I certainly invite you to join us over there. It's just another way to get to know and hang around and talk trading with the team. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this evening. But before I let you get out of here, a couple of things. One, don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. If you're a brand new trader, you're probably going to use tackle trading a little differently than someone who's been trading for 3 years. right? And that's okay, right? Don't be afraid to build your own, tackle trading, whether, if your primary thing is, hey, I've been trading for a decade, I just want some good setups and some good management ideas, and I'm really a cash flow trader, you might prioritize the options report and the cash flow club, right? If you're a brand new trader, you might prioritize the stock report and the newsletter and the technical analysis course. It's okay, right? Everybody's different. Don't be afraid. We do a lot of content. We want to have plenty for our team. We never want you to feel like we're not delivering. We would much rather over deliver than under deliver. That's for sure. But don't feel like you have to be in everything. Know that you're invited. We'd love to have you, but it's okay if you can't make every show or anything like that. You know, fit it into your life, not the other way around, right? Uh, if you ever need anything, let us know, whether it's the lounge, the clubhouse, sending an email, hitting me up on Twitter, whatever it is. Don't hesitate to reach out if you need something. If you're struggling, ask for some help. There's no shame in it. We've all been there. Everybody here is on the same side, right? The coaches, our veteran team members, our new team members, we all want to see each other succeed in the market. To a man and woman, every one of us want to do that. So don't hesitate to reach out if you do need anything. I've appreciated you taking the time to check this out this evening. If you're a new member, I certainly welcome you to the team, and it's great to have you here. And I look forward to seeing you around and getting to know you as the days turn into weeks and turn into months. If you're just checking us out, seeing what we're all about, I certainly appreciate you doing so as well. Love to have you. We do have a standing offer of a free 15-day trial. You'll find in the comment of any of our YouTube videos. So if you want to kind of see what we're doing on the back end, without having to make a commitment, could be a great place to start. So that'll be free standing offer of 15 days if you want to check us out a little bit more thoroughly. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. I'll let you get out of here, but welcome to Tackle Trading. Thank you for your time tonight. Stay safe, stay on top of the markets, and